The Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
It is a beautiful Friday, and we say welcome to Itches and Voices. And in case you're joining us for the first time, Itches and Voices is brought to you by NAVID, Network for the Advancement of Persons with Visible Disability. And today we'll be continuing on our series, Love, Relationship and Disability. It's been an amazing series so far, and we've had 3 guests. Mr. Igwe making it our 3rd now, and we've been discussing on love, moving aside from our usual Edo State disability law, rights, advocacy, and inclusion. And of course, we have our amazing sign language interpreter that will be doing justice to our hearing impaired audience, and Ms. Cynthia Godwin-Aya. And we also have an amazing guest with us in the studio today, Mr. Igwe Friday. Welcome, Mr. Igwe Friday.
Thank you so much.
It's nice having you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And also, I think it would be nice for us to dive right into the topic for today, which is love, relationship, and disabilities. And before we go on, sir, please, can you tell us a bit about yourself so our audience viewers can know you a little better?
Okay. My name is Igwe Friday, like you already introduced. Okay. And I am a lawyer by the grace of God. Wow. And I'm a member of NAVID.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. And I got to find out that you recently got married. How is the wedding life going for you?
Well, we just entered the club, so we are still trying to study the wedding club.
Okay, that's amazing. And for our topic today, which is love and relationships, now what does love and relationship in general mean to you personally? Because it's a topic that I feel like everybody loves to talk about, everybody loves to engage in. So what does that mean for you personally, if you can explain to us?
Okay, all right. I like the fact that you said you use the words, what it means to me personally. Yes. Because to me, love has no universally accepted definition. So it depends on how you perceive it as a person. Yes. And how you perceive it depends on your experience. And I believe that it has nothing to do with disability.
Very true.
It has nothing to do with disability. So your relationship with people will determine whether you are going to enjoy that that beautiful word called love. Yes. So to me, I think love is a gift from God. You understand, that given to mankind, irrespective of your status in society. So it now depends on how you handle it. So to me, love, and no matter how you look at it, and no matter who you are, love has, has very key component. To me, it has what I call intimacy. Yes. It also has what you call passion and commitment. So no matter what you are, if you have experienced love, you must have those 3 components in place.
Okay, thank you very much. You made mention of something, that love is the same regardless of disability or not, without having disability. So I want to ask a question. So we had a guest last week, and she made mention of disability and love for those for people living with disability. It's not the same for everybody. Okay. It is a little bit difficult for some to find love, and it is easy for others to find love. And she mentioned, like, the deaf community, that some of them get married earlier compared to other clusters in the disability community. So what do you have to say regarding that? Do you believe that it is difficult to find love in the disability community, or you think it's a personal thing? Okay,
like I already established that love to me is what you think it is. You understand? And your experience will not determine what you see love as. So, but I do not think, like I said, I do not think that it has anything to do with disability. But that does not mean that the guess you had has no no point. But the truth remains that it has nothing to do with disability, because, like I earlier stated, it has 3 components, which is passion, intimacy, and commitment. As long as you have blood flowing through your veins, you understand? So if you can experience those 3 things, it means you have love. And the thing is that it depends on how you, like, if you can show care, you understand? If you can show care to the next person, the person that you're actually in relationship with, of course, and that person can return that same care. Of course, like, you're already experiencing love, so it has nothing to do with, so it depends on how you manage it as a person. So how you manage it will now, I mean, whether you are going to find it very difficult to have love, and whether you you are going to enjoy such love. So it has nothing to do with your personality, it has nothing to do with your status, and it has nothing to do with your disability. So that is what I feel.
Okay, so will you say then that those that find it, those in the disability community that find it difficult to find love, will you say it's based on their person and their belief?
Yes, it has to do with their person and how they relate with the next person, because it involves mutual trust and care. So you cannot, because you have one form of disability or not, does not take away the fact that you have to show the other person care. Do you understand?
Yes,
so it has nothing to do. So if you have the ability to trust and show and return that care which the other person has given to you, of course I see no reason why such person cannot return same care. So it has nothing to do with disability. It just depends on how you manage that relationship with that person. So I think it has nothing to do with disability. That's my opinion.
And I think I've picked a few things from what you've said now. You made mention of passion, you made mention of trust, and you also made mention of commitment. And I think
intimacy, yes.
And intimacy, yes. So I think one thing I've gotten from that is that if I am, or a person living with disability should first of all trust the person that he wants to get into a romantic relationship with, and then therefore disability will no longer become a barrier.
Yeah. Okay, now let's see, you know, you cannot fall in love with somebody that you have not interacted with or seen.
True.
Right?
Very true.
So if you are talking with somebody, for instance, and let me say this before I continue, I think some of those persons that have this impression actually, I would say it is a societal thing. Yes, because if you have not come close to me, if you have not come close to me, because people will see you from a distance and conclude that this person will not be able to love. So if you don't come to me, and there's no way I can extend that care, intimacy and commitment to you, if you don't know me. I don't even understand.
Yes,
so,
I do.
And that's why I say it depends on how you manage it, because you can only manage somebody who is close to you. So if you fail to manage it, that's when you will begin to say, okay, maybe it was difficult for you to get love. Because if you are interacting with somebody that you have not met, at that point the person will not be able to detect whether you have one disability or not until you are able to. So it is a society. Okay, it is a societal something. Do you understand? Because if I can talk, I can be communicating with you for 5 years without letting you know if I have one disability or not. There is no way, as long as I will be able to express that love to you. So yes, so that's what matters.
That makes sense. And the society, I feel like society brings a stereotype sometimes. Exactly. Because you've not met someone with disability and you just feel like they feel sorry and they cannot find love. And love is for everybody. For everybody. Everybody wants to.
That's why I started by saying that it is a gift from God. And when God gives that gift to mankind, God did not say, okay, this one will go to a person with disability and this one will go to persons without disability. So love is a gift to mankind, so you can enjoy it depending on how you view it.
Okay, let's dive a little more personal to you.
Okay.
So you're married, sir.
Yes.
Your wife, is she with or without disability?
Is without any form of disability.
Wow, that's amazing. So before you got married, in your dating phase, did you date a person, like person living with disability, before you got married?
I never dated a
person. Wow. You see, I feel like society sometimes make it seem like persons with disability should either be married or date a person with disability and not come close to people without disability.
And that's okay. Sorry.
And it's no, sir. And it's very nice for us to see now that it should not be like that. And you said you've never dated, you did not date any person with disability before getting married. Wow. So, sir, talking about a little bit to your wife now. When you guys were getting married, did like family come as a barrier within that period?
Okay, like I said, if you don't go close to someone, you will not be able to know whether this person has the ability to express love or not. And love is not just about mere words, I love you. It involves those 3 things that I mentioned earlier. If you can show that commitment to a woman, the woman will forget automatically that they have one form of disability or not. All right? So when we started, to answer your question, when we started, she saw me somewhere and she was the one that approached me.
Wow.
And when we started, she went home to inform her parents that this is the kind of person she was about
to be
18 months.
married
Yes.
to.
So, such, you know,
Yeah.
like, so it was like, are you sure you are going to cope? I didn't say a word. I didn't even go with her.
Wow.
So she now told the dad that, Father, I've seen this person. I think you see what I'm saying. Like,
Yes.
like I have to go close to the person. That I've seen this person and I know what I am going.
want.
Yes, I know this person and this is exactly who I want.
Wow.
So I didn't say anything up till now. So at a point she came to me and began to tell me that some of her friends have been telling her that, how are you going to cope with somebody with disability? And at a point she got angry. And then I told her, I said, you don't need to get angry. That's because if you have not seen me and somebody approach you that, please, I want you to get married to this person, you'll be very angry. So you have come close to me and you saw something.
Yes.
You understand? So you don't need to blame me because they don't know me, they don't come close to me, and they don't know what they have. So that's what that was it.
We have to cut you short a little bit
Right.
because so far the conversation has been going amazingly well in the studio, but we have to go on a real quick short break, and when we get back, we'll continue the conversation with Mr. Igwe. Thank you. Welcome back from that very quick break. The break we talked about NAVID hosting palliative for persons with disability this December, because everybody has to celebrate this December, and as NAVID we'll be sharing palliative for members of NAVID and persons living with disability, and you can also support and be a huge part of this movement. So welcome back, Mr. Igwe.
Thank
so
you
we
so
were
much.
talking earlier about family and
Yes.
how you made mention of how your wife was the first person to introduce you to our family,
Yes.
because she saw exactly what she wanted.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about the family acceptance and all about that?
Okay, like I stated earlier, when she went to inform her parents, I didn't go with her. So it was when she came back and she started telling me the reservation that the family member had. So the following day, she had she was invited to come home over the same matter. So she now told everybody that I have seen this person, I've lived with this person. All right. In fact, this person does almost everything at home. So this is exactly the kind of person.
She wants.
Yes, it's not because I have money. I don't have money. You understand? So she saw something. And she, she saw something and she knew what she wanted, and that's what is important in every relationship.
Yes, you mentioned that she made mention of seeing you could do things. So I want to talk about domestically at home. What is it like? Because I know a lot of persons are usually very curious on how getting married to a person living with disability or living with a person with disability, what's like the day-to-day activity or struggle? Is there like a struggle? Or just tell us about the domestic life and what it's like.
Okay. Like I stated earlier, for you to enjoy love or relationship, you have to, to show some level of commitment, irrespective of whether you have disabilities or not. Something must keep you, like you may use prayer to get into a home or to get a job or to get married, but other things will have to keep you in that relationship, right?
Yes, very
now
true.
I'll say this, I don't know if my wife is watching. Do you understand?
We hope she is.
Yeah, so but I will tell you that we got married on the 6th of September.
Wow.
But I can tell you that my wife has only cooked 4 times since we got married.
Wow.
Only
That's
4
interesting.
times. So that's good. In fact, there is an argument in the house now whether I cook better than my wife.
She does.
So that's how I'll end it.
That's interesting.
It will not look as if my wife is not cooking for me.
No, not at all. We love the fact that this made me quite happy, because I love the fact that you're also very involved.
Yes.
And this is something that even persons without disability argue.
Yes.
You see men without disability that do not even want to cook for their wife. And it's different now.
Of course. So yesterday I was at the High Court, like with a colleague, and we were discussing about family matters. So I told him that for since we got married, that my wife has only cooked with her house for that. He said, eh? He said he will never try it as long as like he is married, that he will never go to kitchen. So it is an individual thing.
Yes.
So how you, if you know what to work in your marriage, you just do it.
That makes sense. Whatever works for you. This is so for love. It's more of a personal thing,
that's why
not any
commitment.
disability that's come with it. And even for couples or persons without disability, they have to still be commitment, because if not, the marriage or the relationship will not work. So commitment is the main
very
and the
important.
principal
and
thing.
It was one of the things that my wife saw before he liked me, that I could do. You know, once a woman sees that she's coming to your house to add more problems, stress, she will not come.
True.
I wash my clothes myself.
Wow.
So sometimes when I see that my wife is very tired, I help her clean the bedroom everywhere.
Wow.
You understand? So it is something must it must show some level of commitment. You don't need to let her know that okay, she's coming to carry all the stress. Yes.
And I think that's one thing a lot of people are afraid of, coming into a marriage and carrying all the burden by themselves. And I think we should divert a little bit from the home and let's talk about like in society. For instance, are you a Christian? You're a Christian.
I am a Christian.
So what was like it for members of the church? Were they open to the marriage? Were they supportive, or were there objections here and there for you in church?
I was personally. Before we got married, a pastor of the church actually liked me very well. You understand? He knows my capability. So and the daughter is also a member of the church. So it was something that everybody was actually looking happy. So even though there might be some side talk, he's getting married to somebody there. So, but I can tell you that, in fact, that day, everybody, like the whole hall, was here. So it is something that everybody actually was happy about. Yes.
Thank you. So from that, we know that nothing is don't be afraid for what church will say, what family will say. Mr. Igwe's story is a perfect example that disability is not the first thing. It is first commitment that counts. We'll be going on another short break, and when we come back, we'll say more about the topic. Welcome back. We know love is giving and love is sharing. So be a part of NAVID's movement this December to share love to the persons with disabilities community. You can support us by sending funds to the account number we displayed before. You can visit us at 34 Arosa Street off Sankomba Road. Thank you. And Mr. Igwe, as we round up, what is one word or something you like to say to persons with disability that are looking for love currently?
Okay. Okay, one word I would say to them is that one, they have to understand that love involves mutual trust and care. You must show love to the person that you are expecting love from. And secondly, you have to work on yourself. You understand? Yeah, you have to work on yourself so that you'll be able to attract exactly what you want. Yes.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Igwe Friday. It was amazing having you on the studio today, and I'm sure we had an amazing session today. And also, we'll say thank you to our sign language interpreter and Cynthia Godwin Aya. And also remember that this is the season of love. Make sure to share love to those around you. And remember, spot the itch and be a voice. Thank you for joining us today.
ITV, certainly the best. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio. ITV, certainly the best.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete.
Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set roll out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her. Yeah. In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking about. That's what I said. So when they bullied her, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. Party. You have to be smart. If you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Christmas to all our viewers and listeners across the world. Welcome to our special edition of the show, Politics Today, on independent television and radio. And I'm your host, the most sunny Duke Okosun. Hope you had a great Christmas celebration. It's beyond eating rice, it's beyond the stew and the chicken and all of this fun. It's about Christ. And even if you need to have all the resources to celebrate as much as you want to, or perhaps buy the clothes, buy the shoes, and all of those lovely things, the most important thing is the gift of life. If you're alive, to celebrate 2025 Christmas, that's the biggest celebration. So welcome on board the show. I also want to thank you especially for staying with us all the way from January till now. This is about the last episode of the show, Politics Today, on independent television and radio for the year 2025. Certainly when we'll be meeting next, it will be in the new year 2026, God willing. Welcome aboard the show. Well, so much talking point on the program for today, but let's quickly look at some of the stories that dominated national discourse or perhaps international discourse in the last 48 hours, beginning with the strike by the United States on terrorist enclaves in Nigeria, specifically in Tangier local government area in Sokoto State. And in relation to that, the federal government has confirmed ongoing security and intelligence cooperation between Nigeria and the United States following airstrikes that hit terrorist targets in Nigeria's northwest. This has led to precision hits on terrorist targets in Nigeria by airstrikes in the northwest. In a statement issued on Friday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, signed by spokesperson Kimebi Bienfa, said Nigerian authorities remain engaged in structured security cooperation with international partners, including the United States of America, to address terrorism and violent extremism in the country. The ministry said the collaboration, which led to precision airstrikes on terrorist targets, involves intelligence sharing, strategic coordination, and other forms of support in line with international law and respect for Nigeria's sovereignty and shared security commitments. That's a major focus on today's program on Politics Today on independent television and radio. But let's quickly take a look at other stories. The People's Democratic Party has criticized the federal government for allowing the United States to disclose details of terror strikes carried out on Nigerian soil by the Nigerian authorities, addressed the nation, describing the development as a disturbing failure of security, communication, and national leadership. In a statement issued on Friday, the PDP National Publicity Secretary, Ini Emebong, observed that the federal government's delayed reaction forced Nigerians to depend on foreign sources for updates on critical security operations taking place within their own territory. All right, and now let's look at more stories in the world of politics. The All Progressives Congress APC in Ebonyi State has announced that its primaries for the forthcoming local government and councillorship elections will be held on January 25, 2026. The announcement was made by the state chairman of the party, Stanley Emega, on Monday during a briefing with journalists in Abakaliki following a state executive council meeting. Emega advised political appointees intending to contest the elections to comply with Governor Francis Onweforo's directive to resign before the primaries. And now moving on, 6 members of the Zamfara State House of Assembly have defected from the People's Democratic Party PDP to the All Progressives Congress APC, citing deep internal crises within the PDP and what they described as poor governance in the state. The lawmakers announced their decision on Thursday through separate letters addressed to the Speaker of the House. Those who defected are Bashar Aliyu Gumi in Gumi 1 constituency, Nasiru Abdullahi Maru North, and Bashir Abubakar Masama Bukuyum North, Bashir Bello Bugundu West, Amiru Ahmad Keta Safe West, and Mukhtar Nasiru Kara from Kara North. That's some of the stories we're following at this time on the program today, Politics Today on independent television and radio. We will take a short break. When we return, we'll meet our guest analyst, who is a global affairs analyst joining us from the UK, Chief Daniel Matthew Akwemoha, in just a moment as we look at the reactions that have trailed the U.S. strike on terrorist enclave in Nigeria. And one man who has been very outspoken on this issue is Sheikh Gumi, and he's been receiving a lot of bashing and criticism because of some of the things that he has said. And we'll be talking more on this when we return after this break. Please stay with us on Politics Today on independent television and radio. Many thanks again for rejoining us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. Let's begin our conversation by setting the tempo and the foundation for this discourse on U.S. strike on ISIS targets in Nigeria on Christmas Day. This came from President Donald Trump, who said that the U.S. launched powerful and deadly strike against Islamic State forces in Nigeria after spending weeks accusing the West African country's government of failing to rein in the persecution of Christians. Trump said tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. Mr. Trump wrote on his social media platform, Truth Social, I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, they will be held to pay, and tonight there was. Mr. Trump did not provide further details on the strikes, such as how many people were killed, who or what was specifically targeted, or how many strikes were carried out, rather than to say there were numerous perfect strikes. U.S. African Command, which oversees U.S. military operations in Africa, said in a statement that its initial assessment is that multiple ISIS terrorists were killed in the ISIS camps. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted on X, the president was clear that last month the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere must end. The Department of War is always ready, so ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for Nigerian government support and cooperation. And in reacting to this, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugai, came out to say this was a collaboration, a cooperation between Nigeria and the U.S., that he spoke with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to get clarification and approval, and it was given. And he also went ahead to say that to a large extent, the narrative being presented by the U.S. government is a bit twisted. The strike was against terrorists, and it wasn't based on the initial claims by U.S. and President Trump that there was genocide against Christians in Nigeria. Well, you know, in recent time, this has been a major talking point. Now, it has finally happened, and we're seeing reactions from the left, from the right. And one man who has been very vocal is Sheikh Gumi, who is saying that U.S. doesn't have a moral right to carry out such an action, saying countries that are qualified to carry out such actions include China, I think Pakistan, saying these countries, they have clean hands. The U.S. has no moral ground because it doesn't have a clean hand. That U.S. has been involved in terrorist activities itself, and so it doesn't have a moral ground to be involved in this. And this has attracted a lot of reaction. But let's quickly meet our guest for today's program. Chief Daniel Matthew Akomoha is joining us from the UK, Global Affairs Analyst, Chieftain of the Labour Party, and Public Affairs Commentator. Thank you so much, Chief, for creating the time. And once again, Merry Christmas, and thank you for joining us on this special broadcast of Politics Today on ITV and radio.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always been a privilege and honor. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we saw the news. The news came out, on Christmas Day, and it was like, could it be true? I mean, people were raising questions around it. But this is one thing that President Donald Trump is known for. He doesn't just make a threat. He goes ahead to match words with action. But what do you make of the reaction that is trailing this action, this strike taken by the U.S. against terrorists in Nigeria, against the background of some of the reactions that we've seen trailing it?
First of all, I want to commend the action taken, regardless how we view it. Either the reality of it or the propaganda that follows. So for me, first of all, I want to thank the American president for the attempt to even call the attention. And since President Donald Trump have called the Nigerian attention to it, we've seen some actions on the Nigerian government part to at least attempt to do something. That is where it ends, just an attempt to do something. Not really actually doing anything. We still have the Minister of State, who is a confirmed terrorist sponsor in his position. We still have Ribadu, who is the head of the agency, out of which 11 people came out of to try to commit a coup. We still have an inefficient system that's rewarding people who have gourmet to going around still freely promoting, speaking on behalf of terrorists. So, and then again, when we look at the damage supposed to have caused by this bomb, or the coordinates given to them, the question is, why Sokoto? Why Sokoto, where it's almost 99% Muslim? Why Sokoto, where the places that were targeted, there are no fatality? They were bombing empty space, a farm that is onion farms, that's where the bomb, and some other miscrammed place where there is no significant value to. So what is the purpose of this target? Who are they going after in Sokoto? That's a question that we must be asking rather than just taking on the face value. Who are those? If they go for Shaitan of Sokoto, who is the head of the Adran, we're like, okay, there's a reason why they're bombing Sokoto. But who are those in Sokoto where they're going for? Which headquarters have they bombed? Which property or business or who is the primary target that bombed? This is a propaganda of nothingness. This is a propaganda by the American president, who is poll number is flaying and is trying to get the Christian right to support him. This is a proper APC propaganda of nothingness to pretend as if they're trying to do something. And the fact that the Minister of Foreign Affairs Minister said they work in connection with the American government and give them the coordinate. The coordinate of Southwest, when we know majority of the terrorists are in the Northeast, the Zambiza, in Borno, in Kebbi, and all whatnot. Why bomb Sokoto? Although Sokoto share a borderline with Mali and Nigeria, but still, the place of action is not Sokoto. Why bomb Sokoto? I mean, people might say, oh, it's an objective thing. They're going after where the base of or the organizer is, fair enough. But who exactly is the target, or what exactly is the target, apart from the open field that is being bombed for propaganda's sake? Nigeria is not serious, neither is President Tinubu genuinely serious about tackling these terrorism issues in Nigeria. I'm a supporter of Tinubu, and I'm still going to remain a supporter. Open he runs and open he run for second. I'm going to campaign for him. However, I'm not a blinded supporter. I'm not a supporter that lose my brain or my common sense or my intelligence to call out a BS when a BS is being thrown at us. Even just based on information online and news report, what are the fatality? Zero fatality as best to our knowledge. Boko Haram and the terrorists are actually doing more damage than this bomb did. An average cost of those, but I hope Nigeria is not paying for it. Those bombs worth about $1 million. Dropping $1 million of bomb on a on a vegetable field. For what purpose? For purpose of propaganda? In this case, Gumi is the least human being to side with. I side with Gumi on this, that this is a waste. And they have no moral ground to do this if it's just for propaganda and shenanigans to boost Donald Trump poll rating among the Christian right in America, or to make President Tinubu look credible as if he's genuinely fighting terrorism. If President Tinubu genuinely want to fight terrorism, if America really want to help Nigeria fight terrorism, there are some simple things they need to do. America already declared about 10 people that the sponsor of terrorism. America need to freeze their assets all over the world, deport their children in any Western atmosphere back to Nigeria to go and mingle with their parents who were sponsoring terrorism. America need to put visa restriction on some of these politicians and some of these leaders who speak on their defense. America needs to issue, ICC needs to issue an arrest warrant on these people. Those are things that America can do apart from dropping bombs in places where there is just an onion field. And in Nigerian government also need to do the basic thing. Matawale, who is the Minister of State, needs to be fired. His predecessor already
Let me pause you there, Chief Daniel Matthew Akwamoha, and perhaps look at, an aspect of the conversation from some of the reports that have been coming in from residents on the ground. And I think one of the council chairmen talked about the fact that the strike did hit the terrorist enclave. And then you've asked the question, why Sokoto? There's also a report in that direction that terrorists were seen fleeing to neighboring countries of Niger and Chad. Don't you think that the reason for this strike was to make a bold statement to the terrorists? And that's if the strike didn't fulfill its purpose, why is someone like Sheikh Gumi reacting the way he's reacting, and some of the reaction that we have seen in the last couple of days? In any case, you started by commending President Donald Trump and the Nigerian government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for this initiative to put the terrorists in their place.
I commend them for the attempt, but we've gone beyond propaganda. This is a pure theater. It's just a performing act, what they've done. They've not actually gone to the art of the beast. Because if they really wanted to do this, Sheikh Gumi will complain about anything. Sheikh Gumi will complain about anything that seems to be going against the direction of the terrorists, because he is a terrorist. Sheikh Gumi is against state police. Sheikh Gumi is against the new appointment. Sheikh Gumi is openly saying we should not even fight terrorists, we should create a special budget for them. So Sheikh Gumi should be arrested. Sheikh Gumi, anybody who is claiming to be a spokesman for the terrorists should be arrested, should be part of those sponsoring terrorism. Now, the intention of going after the terrorists by Donald Trump is a noble thing, and we should commend that. But the theater and the make-believe and the propaganda that does not achieve anything apart from self-gratification for himself is something that we should be against. if they actually gone to try to bomb where the terrorists are, if they come to, I'm going to put it out there. If they're like, oh, we're going for the head of the Hydra, we're going to go for this, the Shaitan of Sokoto, and they bomb the palace, say, you know, you are the head of Islam. And we're bombing this simply because you're the head of these northern people. We're bombing you and trying to get rid of you to get off the head. I would say, okay. Because you're going after the Shaitan of Sokoto. But that's
okay. Now, Chief, we need to really focus on the discussion. You are not recommending President Donald Trump to order that, but what you are saying,
no, I'm not.
If, for example, that happens, you know, there's a definition of what the purpose is. But you're saying, in effect, that this bombing has no focus, no direction. You expecting the bombing to focus on places like Borno, Zamfara, Katsina, maybe Benue, and other places. But you are aware that the Nigerian Armed Forces is also on a, more or less like they are on an onslaught against terrorists. You saw recently Bello Turji, who is one of the most dreaded, notorious, wanted terrorists in Nigeria, coming out to, you know, request for peace and a safe landing. And the Nigerian Armed Forces said, look, there is no going back in this, you know, confrontational approach, kinetic approach to dealing with these guys. That's exactly the point you are making, I want to believe.
Dealing for peace negotiation talk because he's afraid America was coming to bomb his ass. He knew America was coming to bomb. So he was trying to make peace with Nigerian government to protect him. However, American government have now come, or President Trump have now come, they've done exactly what he wanted. They've gone and thrown a bomb in an onion farm. They've not gone after him. America is very good at doing targeted killing. From Osama bin Laden to this guy in Syria, how come in this case, they are bombing open field?
So what evidence do you have that they bombed open field and not the terrorist enclave? Do you have the coordinates, or you are relying on what you saw on social media? No, those who carried out the action told you that they hit multiple targets and it was deadly strike, which means those strikes actually hit the target with a casualty. We may not have the figures of those casualties. And you are seeing the reaction, for example, from the PDP saying that, criticizing them for releasing the information about the strike at all. And then you are saying they should release more information before you believe. What is your evidence that it was an onions farm that was struck by this strike? The African Command, the Department of War, and the U.S. president has come out to say this was a deadly strike, and there were multiple strikes, and they struck the, you know, targets that they wanted to hit. So how do you now justify your own position that it was an open field?
Financial Times is a credible journalist paper. They don't do propaganda. I would advise everybody to go and read it. They went on the ground. They take pictures. It's online. Just Google Financial Times. They spoke to the local people there as well. That's one. If you go online, there's so many local people updating, uploading, also sharing the views. One of the major places they bomb is an onion field. Some of the locals said, oh, ISIS or the Boko Haram terrorists used to gather there, but that was like 2 years ago, not recently. They don't have any terrorists. The IS they have in Sokoto is bandits who are kidnapping Christians along the way, demanding money, not terrorists. So we need to separate that clearly. And secondly, in Sokoto, inside Sokoto, we know that the whole coordination for this terrorist movement is in Sokoto. We know that. And unless we try to pretend that some of those things are not linked to the caliphate himself. Now, if you're to bomb...
Okay, just a moment, Chief. I don't want us to make what you would call an illusion of casualty in trying to piece things together that we cannot authoritatively verify or confirm on this program, because this is a global audience, so we don't send the wrong signal and make the wrong, put out the wrong information there. We don't misrepresent facts, and people try to have a misconception of the purpose of our conversation. Let's try and stay on course without trying to make insinuations and join issues together to avoid people misinterpreting the conversation today. But we'll take a short break. When we return, we will look deeper into this fight against terrorism. The federal government recently declared anyone caught in the act, in kidnappings and all of these, as terrorists. That's the general designation. Whether you are a bandit and all of that, you are a terrorist, most especially if you are involved in kidnapping for ransom and all of those, deadly activities. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with you to talk more on the show. Don't forget, at about 10:15, our studio line will be open, so you can call and be part of the conversation. What's your take on U.S. response to the terrorist situation in Nigeria based on the threats issued by President Donald Trump, and also the reactions coming from the federal government giving holistic support to this action? And then interface that with the reaction coming from Sheikh Gumi on this issue. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Thanks again for rejoining us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. We're still looking at the recent strike by President Donald Trump or the U.S. on Nigeria against terrorists. And this, of course, is in tandem with what President Donald Trump promised some few days back, which, of course, has come into full manifestation. There are concerns that unless and until perhaps the casualty figures come to the public space, there is that seeming tendency for people to believe that this is just a propaganda. That seems to be the point that you're making, Chief Daniel Matthew Akomokan. But it doesn't take away the fact that the promise made has been fulfilled, the proposed action has been taken, and it establishes the fact that the Nigerian government and the U.S. government officials are working together to ensure that the days of terrorism in Nigeria, the days are truly numbered. What do you make of some of these actions taken so far in terms of the results that we're seeing, and then the multiplier effect that we're going to see in the days to come? Do you think that this will have far-reaching implications in terms of whittling down terrorism activities? Because we've seen some of the debris fell in places like Ofa, in Kwara State, and that has brought some of these conversations that, the bombing hit onion plantation or hit open spaces and stuff like that. I've seen a comment by an air officer, an army officer, saying when a bomb is shot, the fuel for the engine, once it is expended, it falls off, and then the bomb just propels to its target. But it's really possible that with the level of sophistication that the U.S. has gained in terms of war and all of that, they will go about some of these actions just for propaganda and hit empty spaces. Is it really possible, Chief Matthew?
Yes, it is. And evidence shows in the pudding. We have zero casualty up to date with the massive level of bombardment they claim to have used or done. We have open field with big pothole that they just circled around, and we have no follow through. The only person so far to date that's actually making an effort to fight this terrorism is the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa. And it's the only person who said local indigents to defend themselves. It's the only person pushing for state police. All the majority of the northern leaders is against it. The terrorists is against it. Gomez is against state police and the right for people to defend themselves. That's to tell you where the focus is. So for me, I support President Tinubu and I'll keep supporting him, but I'm not a blinded supporter. I'm a rational supporter. But what I'm saying is this. If President Trump genuinely, I welcome President Trump's intervention. Because during Jonathan regime, Obama walked against Nigeria, refused to sell ammunition to Jonathan to fight terrorists. Then when they were just in one local government, and then all he wanted was regime change in Nigeria and to give to Buhari. Even after Buhari came in and Biden came in, they have the Leahy Convention that refused to sell ammunition to Buhari. At the same time, they're pushing the agenda of homosexuality on Nigeria. President Trump came, he bypassed that law, either in his own with the Leahy Dobbs law, to sell some ammunition to us. But this is where the rubber hit the road. It's not just propaganda we need at this crucial time. We need genuine support. And if Nigeria is giving them a coordinate, allegedly, that's what we said, then something is faulty with that coordinate. If they bomb in Sokoto, where we have no history of terrorism, then if America, as powerful as their intelligence could be, they cannot put one and two. We remember during the time of Jonathan, we knew what Nigerian officials were doing. Every time we had a special squad that was going to go rescue the Chibok girls and try to bomb these people. Every time they tell the Nigerian army, it's in the news, it's also on YouTube. The next day, the terrorists have moved away from there. So, do we trust the Nigerian government giving the Americans the adequate coordinates to bomb? Or the American government are not serious about doing this and they're going after propaganda to boost Donald Trump? Because the first thing Donald Trump said is defending Christian in Nigeria. And that was all, that is to meet his own Christian right. That is lacking behind in his support in America. That's not the benefit of us Nigerians. Because the terrorists is not just about Christian, they're killing Muslims too. I'll say 80% of those being killed in the north are Muslims. And that's a fact. So we need to be very serious about this. If they're going to be doing charade and propaganda, we don't want it. We don't want it. The average bomb cost about $1 million. That's over $2 billion to transform a whole area. I'm coming to Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi is a terrorist. If, for instance, Donald Trump have gone and target Sheikh Gumi right now and get rid of him, I would say fair enough.
All right, now, Chief, you can't make that sort of recommendation here, because while the federal government has not described or categorized Sheikh Gumi as a terrorist. These are just your personal opinion, and it's not objective. All right, so let's try and stay on course. I wanted to take you on the point. I've heard even the likes of Sheikh Gumi making comparison between the Niger Delta militants, as it were, and the bandits who have now been designated as terrorists in terms of the demand. Is there any similarities or are there any differences if you want to look at these two planks as far as this issue of insecurity is concerned? Is there any justification for that sort of comparison in the first place?
There's no justification, there's no comparison, there's no similarity. Let us go back to Niger Delta people before Niger Delta people are very geographically based and they are very, very narrowly targeting. They were not ethnic cleansing. They were not attacking villages. They're not trying to take over villages, and they never kidnap anybody for ransom. They went after the oil company and they tried to disrupt oil flow because the oil company were polluting their waters and their land. And they demand clean production in their area. They weren't attacking villages. They're not spreading their jihadis across anywhere. And you didn't hear them raping, kidnapping school children, raping people, demanding fees. No, that did not happen. Sheikh Gumi, Boko Haram terrorist people, what is children in school, Catholic school, got to do with them? What's rape, kidnap, banditry, and demand of money got to do with, compared to that with Niger Delta? Niger Delta was narrow, was a neat with clear purpose. What exactly is the purpose of these terrorists? Apart from one thing and one thing alone, to impose their own way of life across everywhere. Why are we having terrorism across every part of Nigeria? Why are we having terrorist action in Edo State? Did the Delta people go outside the Niger Delta area? Did they come as far as Lagos or Kwara or Jos or did they go as far as Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna? So we know Gome is a liar, and Gome is a liar, is a deceiver, is a master practice of Takia that's in the Quran. And we know that of him. So we should not take Gome anything serious, but to call him what he is. Gome is a terrorist. Anyone who sympathizes with terrorists, anyone who speaks on their behalf, anyone who demands rights for them is a terrorist. So we should just not compare. It's very insulting to intelligence. And it's insulting to journalism that we even entertain such rubbish from a useless man called Gome.
All right, I don't want us to get personal, Chief Daniel Matthew. I want us to be civil in a language. I mean, you don't need to be dropping names and attacking personalities just the way you are doing. That's unacceptable. Let's be civil in our choice of words and focus on the issues and not attacking personalities, so we don't, create a wrong narrative and misconception of our conversation. We're looking at this semi-comparison. There's also another thing I'd like you to get a reaction. I've heard some very respected Nigerians, some global personalities, so to speak, the likes of Bishop Hassan Kuka, saying the bandits that we see today, they are also victims of the system called Nigeria, in terms of the deprivations, in terms of lack of access to education, in terms of the poor quality of life, and all of these issues. I want to get a reaction on that, because when you look at some of the videos that you have online coming from some of the leadership of these terrorists, they tell you that their means of livelihoods, they've been cut short because they can't rear their cows anymore. The routes that they normally would go through from one place to another in feeding their cows, they've all been built up, and in an attempt to get the authority to respond, they had to take laws into their hands, take on arms and ammunition, and in an attempt to protect their cows that are also being rustled, they are being killed by vigilantes and all of that. So let me get your reaction on this issue, or this narrative that the bandits that we are seeing today, they are victims of the social dislocation and the poor leadership structure that we have in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of the country.
The last part is the key word, the northern part of Nigeria. You understand? We have technology these days. Maybe 1 million years ago, when you can rear cow from places land to land, where vast land are not being occupied, makes sense. But today, since it changed, Kanai's word, and the country also needs to grow. They cannot expect what they used to do 100 years ago to carry on and say it's their way of life. There's a gentleman that have massive acres of land in the north growing rice. This Caturera went there and destroyed every aspect of this man's rice. Now, you cannot say your own way of life supersede my own way of life or existence. There's a gentleman that came from America that in one of your state or Ibadan state, one of those in the south, who have a massive farm. And these farmers went in there with their cows. They went to confront them and they slaughtered him like chicken. Most of the problem many of these people have is going to people's farm without any permission. And when they challenge them, they use their guns against them and kill these people. And say you have no right to challenge them because their way of life. You cannot use your own way of life to destroy somebody else's way of life. There is more modern way to do cattle rearing. Now, the key part you said in the North leadership have failed them on they have the highest amount of allocation, they have the largest amount of representation, they also have the largest amount of power. During Buhari for 8 years, Buhari was giving this loan up to ₦1 billion for farming through the Sharia bank that most of them have not even paid back, probably will not pay back. Where is the outcome? So the northern leaders have failed their own people because they've systematically kept them poor, kept them uneducated, kept them disengage with reality of life in order to control them. The alternative is to push religion on them, not necessarily education. What is the whole essence of Boko Haram? It means they are against books. And some of the leaders say whoever fight Boko Haram is fighting Almighty Allah. So whoever fights somebody who is against knowledge, who are against wisdom, who are against intelligence, is fighting. I don't understand that. So not everything is the problem of the federal government. This is exclusive to the states and to the local government, exclusive to the state governors. So let's blame them. The state, Matama, the current minister of state, is the present governor said how he had a relationship with terrorists. The former Borno governor, now they blame each other. The former Borno governor, who Bua was his name, who people said he was the founder of Boko Haram. Those are their problem. Why we don't have that in Lagos State? Why we don't have that in Edo State? Every part of Nigeria, people are struggling. People's way of life are changing. But they're not going to committing harms, kidnapping, trying to impose religion or kidnapping people who does not believe in their ideology or their religion and trying to impose a different way of life on other people. We have to call a spade a spade. This is not an organic thing, but this is an organized thing. The purpose behind it is what we need to
let me pause you there because our studio line is open now. 080-7777-0300. Caller, you are first person on the show today. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Go ahead with your contribution. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Ultima the Great. Please go ahead. The call is a bit distorted. I'm sure it's a network issue. Maybe you can call back again, Ultima the Great, so we can get your take on the conversation so far. Hello, good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah. All right, Dixon, go ahead.
Thank you very much, my Oga, and the great man there from UK. You said all what nobody can blame anybody because of what you caused by yourself. Not Anna, governors, ministers, local government, all of them, the House of Reps, all of them have this problem within their jurisdiction. So they cannot carry problem from north to now to come and destroy other people in their own state.
Okay.
When the man, Fury or others, were blaming or were at least suggesting or comparing terrorists with Niger Delta agitation, cannot. The chief, Daniel, has said it all. The problem is that anyone that who me myself is supporting, that is carry gun or do any type of kidnapping and all these things should be considered as a terrorist. And I supported what Donald Trump did, and I supported what the federal government do to make sure that the whole terrorist should be flushed out. Each person should work his own work out. You cannot use your own cattle come and destroy. For example, in Ovia Southwest now, all our farms are being destroyed by these people. They call themselves S-men. They will enter farm and destroy it. They will enter farm and immediately we confront them. We always say that they pay to who? Maybe they will say they pay to Ojori or they pay to Okadu or they pay to Okadu and so forth. And they are continue doing these things. By the time we retaliate now, somebody will come now tell us that maybe we are just concentrating on them because they are from Natana. But no one of us in South here can go to their place and do such.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your contribution, Dixon. Our studio number is still 08077770300. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with your contribution. The number is 08077770300. Good morning, caller. Let's know your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling us from?
Mr. Ono.
Ono, please go ahead.
From Abuja.
Go ahead, Mr. Ono. Go ahead.
Yes. This Gumi, if the government failed to, if the foreign government failed to get him, it means they back the head halfway.
Gumi wasn't the target. President Trump hasn't told us that Gumi was the target, and the federal government that also supported and gave the go-ahead didn't tell us that Gumi was the target. The federal government has also not designated Sheikh Gumi as a terrorist, all right? Anyways, thanks for your contribution.
I've just said my own.
All right, thank you. Thank you. It's still Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Our studio number is 08077770300. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo. Good morning.
Yes, I already done that.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Go ahead. Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm JB Dennis calling from the bank community.
JB Dennis, go ahead. I'm not a barrister. JB Dennis, please go ahead. Go ahead.
So, if you look at what America has done, it's a very good thing.
Okay.
And some people are saying Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. It's not terrorists are the terrorists. We, the sovereign nation, cannot help ourselves. We cannot do the something that is overwhelming us. And now the America coming. I also disagree with your guest that said that they threw the bomb into the onion farm. That to discredit what America has done, which is not really good. I mean, we have seen something that everybody is commented. Even if you look at social media, we know how people are happy that Sokoto state that there are many scores that are gone, but nobody comes because tomato is onion farm. No, we have to commend the American government. I was thinking that they are just saying it the way they said due to what they could not do anything. But this one, we can not practicalize what they have said.
Okay.
That's just my contribution.
All right, JB Dennis, thank you for your contribution. 08077770300 is our studio number. Dial it right now, right away, before we close it on the show today and for this year, 2025. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Yes, I'm the voice of the ordinary people.
Okay, go ahead. The president of the ordinary people. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. What the man in the studio, your guest was talking, there's something he said I didn't agree with. He said 80% of those people killed in the north are Muslims. I don't agree with him.
Okay.
The reason is that out of Benue, I have neighbors that came from Benue in my street here. Most of their communities, their villages have been sacked by these headsmen, killer headsmen, by these Islamic people. Many of them have been killed, even in Jos. And after Kaduna, many of them have been killed. And these people that have been killed have been Christians. So God has sent Donald Trump to help Nigeria. I'm saying it because me and many other Christians have been praying for God to send helpers, just like the children of Israel in the oppression in the heart of Egypt. So God has sent this man because there are many American presidents, all of them that have ruled. None of them were able to come to the rescue of Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, he said about the seed was bombed. Maybe they must have been misled by these Nigerians, by these militants, because there are some of them inside the army. They must have misled the Americans to go and bomb those places. So we are begging the Americans to be very cautious of the information they get from some of the people in the military, because we know Buhari placed many Boko Haram people there. So
okay, there's no evidence to that, but that's okay. Thank you. Well, as we call it a wrap, I want to leave you with this message. For years, we kept asking why terrorism refused to die, why bandits multiplied like bacteria, why soldiers are ambushed with frightening dimension. Why communities mourn every week. Now the truth is gradually leaking out. Top terrorism suspects didn't just have financiers. They were allegedly linked to some of the most powerful in Nigeria former officials, ex-army generals, political godfathers, and economic giants. But here is the real tragedy. These financiers didn't only just fund terror. They allegedly smuggled their boys into the security agencies. Yes, terrorists wearing uniforms, terrorists receiving government salaries, terrorists guarding barracks, checkpoints, and even armories. This is how the infiltration happened. Create fake identity for selected recruits, secure their entry through compromised officials, position them in strategic units, intelligence, logistics, and operations, leak sensitive information back to their commanders, sabotage real soldiers from within. And all of a sudden, the impossible became possible. Terrorists know military movements even before military moved. Barracks were attacked with precision. Weapons trucks mysteriously disappeared. Operations failed woefully before they even started. Terror suspects get protection from the top. This wasn't incompetence. This was infiltration. This was made an insider job. Nigeria, if this is true, our fight is not only against terrorists in the forest, it's more against terrorists wearing uniforms and receiving government protection. Until and unless we sanitize the system, until every infiltrator is flushed out, until all financiers are exposed openly and prosecuted publicly, security in Nigeria will continue to remain a theater of blood. Yoruba land, Igbo land, Hausa land, Middle Belt, no region is safe when betrayal sits inside the barracks and wears army uniforms. That's my take out on the show today. Let me say big thanks to Chief Daniel Matthew Akwamaha for joining this conversation. Chief, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a great privilege and honor. And I want to use this opportunity to wish all Nigerians and Edo-Light Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Look forward to seeing you in the new year. God bless.
Thank you. That's our package for today on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Big thanks to all our crew members and big thanks to you for staying with us, watching all the way. Merry Christmas once again and Happy New Year in advance. See you in 2026. Bye for now.
TV, certainly the best.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on the program Healthy Living this beautiful Monday afternoon. I'm Adisu Walsawage, and we want to talk about you, particularly that you that would not take your kids for immunization. Do you even know how important these immunizations are? I'm sure most women don't know, and that's why they are doing what they are doing. So today we want to look at facts about measles and rubella. Does it kill? Does it not kill? At what point does it kill? What and what parents should do. Anyway, we have experts in the house who are going to be talking to us on this issue. So join me as I make welcome Professor Ayebo Sado. She's the Director, Institute of Child Health, University of Benin, a consultant pediatrician, Department of Child Health, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and she's also the Chairman, Pediatric Association of Nigeria, Subcommittee on Immunization. A pleasure to have you join us today. Okay, so I would also be introducing to you Dr. Chinelo Nebe, Registrar, Department of Public Health and Community Medicine, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and Young Doctors Forum Coordinator, M1 Edo State. You are welcome. All right, last but not the least, I have Dr. Queen Odikeme. Odikemere, yes, Odikemere, yeah. She is a Senior Registrar, Department of Public Health and Community Medicine, and M1 Coordinator, Department of Public Health and Community Medicine from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. If I were outside now, I would say, please give them a round of applause. All right, ladies, it's nice to have you join us today. Immunization is very important, but some persons don't know if it is or not. So let me ask Dr. Sado, talk to us how important immunization is. What is immunization in the first place before we go to measles and rubella, which a lot of persons are running away from?
So immunization is the act of inducing immunity.
Okay.
So we have a lot of microorganisms around us which we cannot see with the eye, and when they get into the body, they can cause different diseases. So we have things like measles, we have rubella, we have tuberculosis, we have diphtheria, pertussis. All these are vaccine preventable diseases.
Okay.
So essentially, we put something that is relatively safe into the child's body, so that the body reacts to it and develops immunity. So that when the child comes in contact with the real organism, he already has soldiers, as we call them. We call them white blood cells, and antibodies ready to take on the infection before it can cause any disease. So that's what immunization is about.
That's fantastic.
And it's very important. It's one of the most cost-effective interventions that we have in the health sector, and it prevents several million deaths every year, and about 4 million deaths annually just by vaccinating people. We are able to prevent 4 million deaths, so it's very important.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, doctor, let me ask you this question about measles. We're going to look at measles, we're going to look at rubella today. So talk to us about measles, please. What is measles? How can you recognize it? What are the signs? What are the symptoms? What should the parent look out for?
Thank you for that. For measles, it's one of the shining illnesses and is a highly infectious illnesses. And, it's actually common, especially in the developing regions, sub-Saharan region, and it's one of the causes of childhood mortality and morbidity. Not only that, it's scientific term, we say that it belongs to the paramyxoviridae family, as well as the moms for rubella is on another family. But one thing peculiar about measles that is known for its peculiarity in terms of rashes. It can cause generalized rashes, and as well as cough.
Cough, okay.
Yes, and conjunctivitis, that's redness of the eyes.
Okay.
So this is what we look at when it comes to the children. But there's something peculiar about it that makes it outstanding compared to others. That's something we call the Koplik spot. So when
the what?
Koplik spot.
Okay, Koplik spot.
So when you look at the inner lining of the mouth,
yes.
you can see a form of white patch around the lining. That's more like a giveaway, like spots around the lining of the mouth. Understand? So with regards to that, is something that, yes, it can be self-limiting for a disease, but if it's not well treated, it can lead to mortality as well as morbidity of the child, most especially if the child also presents with weakened immune system.
Okay.
Yes. So that's one of the reasons why we have to make sure that the kids are adequately vaccinated or immunized in order to prevent these diseases from occurring.
Okay, apart from kids, does it happen to adults too?
Yes, it can occur to adults.
Really?
Yes, but it is more predominant
in children. Okay, Dr. Quinn, let's look at, I hope you don't mind me using your first name.
It's okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Let's look at rubella, because measles is quite common amongst a lot of persons. But the rubella thing, some persons will know, but others will be like, wait till the rubella again, you know? So what is this rubella all about?
Okay, it's still a viral infection and is vaccine preventable, caused by the rubella virus. Okay. They also call it German measles. So it still have almost same symptom as measles, the same cough, the same coryza, that's catarrh, conjunctivitis, fever too. But one thing peculiar about this rubella, most times, especially for the pregnant women, if a pregnant woman has this virus and then transmits it through pregnancy when the child, it can cause some form of deformities to the children when they are being born, congenital heart failure, deformity. So it's very important that children are vaccinated on time. At the right time, because I think we give them 9 months and then 15 months. That's when they are being vaccinated. You go to your nearest clinic where you are and then get your immunization card. Especially immunization starts when this child is being born. So rubella is one of those viruses that kill children, cause morbidity and mortality, as my colleague just said.
Okay. You said it's from mother to child.
Yes, it can be transmissible from the mother to child.
So how do the mother get it, or how do mothers get it?
You know, it's a droplet. It's called respiratory infection that.
Okay. Okay.
So for rubella, when an older child has it,
okay,
it's a mild illness. She did say it's called German measles.
Yes.
The other name for it is 3 days measles.
3 days
when
measles.
When the mother is looking at her child's face, because usually the rash of measles starts
on the face.
And the one for rubella also starts on the face. And looking, are you planning to have measles or something like that? It has moved up.
Really?
Before you know it, within 3 days it has cleared.
Okay.
The other thing that they may notice is what we call lymph node enlargement at the back of the neck.
At the back of the neck.
So for a child, it's a mild illness, they're playing, they're not really ill. For adults, they may also have joint pains. But if a mother who is pregnant, maybe her child comes with the rubella, she has that contact with the child. They usually spread through secretions, maybe the child is coughing, sneezing, and all of that. That is disaster waiting for the unborn child.
Okay.
So the mother can lose that pregnancy. That's an abortion. Or she can have a stillbirth when the baby is born, the baby is dead. Or the complications, congenital malformations that she talked about. So rubella is a terrible illness for the pregnant woman. So she may just notice small rash here and feel unwell, and she doesn't think twice about it.
And she doesn't even go to hospital for treatment.
Because
okay, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll change. Thank you for staying tuned. We're talking about facts about measles and rubella. Dr. Sado, I want to ask you this question. I'm particularly worried about the transmission from mother to child. You know that we live in an environment where most women believe that they are of the Hebrew descent. And so they will go to the hospital, deliver. They will not go on time. Some will not go for antenatal care. And some will wait until their water broke at home. Say, maybe the water first burst before I go hospital. You know, some will do that. And in a situation where a mother comes down with rubella and she just say, okay, let me buy Moju and rub and all of that. Please tell us how dangerous this is. Be very emphatic about it, how dangerous this is for the mother and the child.
So, that is why it is very important that we do prevention, because rubella has no treatment, no cure.
Okay,
so,
no treatment, no cure.
No treatment, no cure.
Not so, even systemic treatment?
Like we described, it's a very mild illness, but for the unborn child, it just goes in there and destroys the organs of the child. So it's very important that we prevent. So if you immunize a child, by the time it's an adult, it's already protected and she gets pregnant, even if she comes in contact with a child who has rubella, she's covered.
Okay.
But it's mothers who are not immune that when they get exposed to rubella, and then they have a problem with their children. Otherwise, rubella in everybody,
it's a mild thing. But for pregnant women, it's disaster waiting to happen.
Pregnant women, it's a no-no. So it's better we immunize them when they're children, so that as adults, they are free
to go.
And that is why the government is introducing the vaccine.
Okay, I'll ask you, Dr. Chinelo. I've been trying to, I don't want to mix up the names now. Okay, Dr. Chinelo, you've told us about measles and all of that. Now, talk to me. Even when a child is immunized, the child will still come down with it. And so some parents will say, the immunization are fake. The immunization are fake. That's what you always hear. I immunize them. Now the thing came upon it, they're fake. Talk to us about this incident.
Okay, talking about that, we find some prevalences as well as in terms of immunization coverage and with regards to measles, and there's kind of a reduction in immunization coverage.
Okay.
There are a lot of factors that could result in this.
Reduction in immunization coverage, okay.
As well as for when they say that the mothers in this scenario that immunize their children, and they come to realize that they still contract the disease and input. When you discuss about that, there are different factors that you mentioned, and this relates from also the vaccines that are being used. Is a vaccine, the potent one.
Okay.
Is the person adequately immunized for the age?
Okay.
You understand? As well as how many doses of immunization was taken. For example, for measles, it's supposed to be 2, and also the
I will sincerely apologize for that break in transmission due to some technical issues which have now been fixed. Now let's just quickly see what we can do to conclude this program. And I'm going to be asking Dr. Sado some questions. Now talk to me about this measles and rubella. I know that, I can't remember the month and the date now, where you people usually go out to do talks to women, to do advocacy or something like that.
Okay, so like we have discussed so far, measles and rubella are very terrible illnesses. And indeed, the measles vaccine that we have been giving to children 9 months and
15 months
has served to...
Is it free? Let me ask that question. Okay, all right.
So it has actually reduced the number of cases of measles that we see.
Okay.
Previously, when there's an epidemic, the wards are full, but these days, you don't see much of measles anymore.
Okay.
That is why some mothers will say, I vaccinated my child, I immunized my child, still had measles. That measles that they think the child has may not be measles.
May not be measles. Rubella, okay.
And the mother who is pregnant and is exposed to that kind of child, now the baby is born with congenital rubella syndrome.
Okay.
And so the child is born blind. Medically retarded. That's what
it's not a trouble. It's the cause of rubella. Rubella is the cause of all of that. So it's not village people thing now.
No.
That is why we
Okay.
so what the government has done this time is one stone to kill two birds.
How
there's
so?
a single vaccine now called the measles rubella vaccine.
Measles rubella vaccine.
Introduced in January in Edo State.
Okay.
The northern states, 21 of them, have already introduced in October. So the southern states are introducing in January. So
okay.
Come January 20th, measles rubella vaccine will be given to children 9 months to 14 years.
What about, okay, 9 months to 14 years, free of charge?
Yes. Both boys and girls. Boys and girls. So that nobody is talking anything.
You know, when it comes to immunizations like this, people will say they want to reduce fertility. They want to. The government wants to reduce fertility in our children. The government wants to reduce one thing or the other. Please talk to people so that they will come and en masse to immunize their children.
This is to prevent measles and rubella.
One vaccine.
One vaccine.
Okay.
So when we finish with the 10 days campaign,
okay,
where they will go to schools, go to churches, they go to the mosque, go to marketplaces, and they will immunize all children 9 months to 14 years.
Okay.
Thereafter, it becomes routine. So instead of the measles vaccine we give at 9 months and at 15 months, we give measles rubella at 9 months.
Okay, you know what's going to happen, Doctor? Come January, by the grace of God, we will do this again. And we're going to talk about this one vaccine that is going to save a lot of children, because it is important for the leaders of tomorrow to be safe. So this one vaccine will be discussed sometimes in January. Do I get a promise from you that you'll be here? Sure. Okay. All right, people, this is it on the program Healthy Living. We'll see you again. And hopefully, I'm hoping that our first edition next year will be on rubella and measles, just to save that child of yours from 9 months to 14 years is very important. All right, ladies, Happy New Year to you.
See you.
Okay, bye-bye, people. You're welcome. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
Ojúde aṣáájú ẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ pẹ́. Ayaba aṣáájú ẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ pẹ́. Adaye aṣáájú ẹ̀ abẹ́rẹ́ pẹ́. Gbẹ̀dúwà.
TV, certainly the best.
We don't know what we are going to do in the second part.